Hey, let's go. Let's see. I think it finally is working. I've been doing this for the past hour trying to figure it out. Hopefully, after this is a little bit more straightforward. Let's see. Let's go. So, I just wanted to come here and talk about the things that I normally don't talk about. And obviously, it's gonna have to do with AI in general. And just literally the things that I don't really talk about on the day to day. But there's a bunch of news every week. There's a bunch of news about AI, and I want to make sure that I have a time to just hang out and look at the news and truly see what is changing, how people are using the technology stuff, and that is my that is my goal. So, and I am trying to look if it's like high quality, if you're able to see it, if it's slow. Like, I'm truly just figuring this out as we go. I think like the camera looks decent. I don't know if it's the screen or if it's me, but okay, whatever. We'll get to test. Uh, good, good, good. Okay, so there's many things that I wanted to talk about uh, on the AI rundown in general, and starting with SpaceX, isn't it like just like the craziest thing that first that Elon is a trillionaire? Like, I don't think I even understand that number, like what that number means, but just the fact that he's a trillionaire is super super crazy. So yeah, that is number one. Number two is like buying Cursor for 60 billion. Like I've used Cursor and I'm like, there's no way that that thing is worth 60 billion. That is absolutely crazy. And that has been like the biggest startup acquisition ever. Like I cannot really fathom like the amount of money. Like even trying to understand $1 billion is so much. So whenever you're talking about 60, and whenever you're thinking of Elon and what he has done to become a trillionaire, it's just like crazy. And we're not even talking about like his pay packet for Tesla. So it's just whenever I saw the IPO, I'm like, I don't know how much higher this thing can go. Like it's just so crazy. And some of the angles that I want to talk about in regards to Cursor, and is I think some people see it as something bad, but I just that is the fact that he's like literally buying apps and buying like software instead of developing himself. But it's like he has more money than he has time, and if he's able to spend it on that and get a bigger return, like why wouldn't you do it? And no one is saying anything about Apple using everyone else's AI except theirs. And that is super, super crazy. But that also means that they have not spent any money on the AI race. Like they were so far behind that they just decided to not spend money. And now that the technology has actually advanced, like they can have a pretty decent model and not spend the billions and billions of dollars that everyone else did. So OpenAI and Claude and but mainly OpenAI, like they paved the way and they had to get like most of the cost of that. And that is like you can see that that has been a huge issue on their plans and on the way they have had to do things. And that really really sucks, right? Because I thought OpenAI was not going to lose, but I don't think they're gonna be able to. Like, I don't think they're gonna make it, to be honest. And they're not. I don't think they're gonna be profitable anytime soon. Uh, Claude continues to get super, super good. So Elon buying software instead of trying to go in and develop it, I think is not that bad of an idea. And as I am telling you, like, no one is criticizing Apple from doing the exact same. Is like, oh, we'll try Gemini, we'll try ChatGPT. Like you can live on our software, and whenever they have their AI or whenever they have like the actual partnership that they're gonna use long term, they already have the trust and the devices, and that for me is like absolutely insane. And in regard to model neutrality and the fear of people using Cursor now that Elon bought it. I don't really know exactly how that's gonna go and how performance is gonna look like, but I would assume that it's in the best interest of Cursor and even on Elon that they're using other models so we can see what the other models are doing and how they're working. I don't even know. Like on that part, like if it's gonna be neutral or not, like I have no clue. But if it completely changes and if you break it, like people are gonna find other options. Like something that we have seen in this AI age is that people are not really loyal to software, like they're loyal to the thing that is gonna help them. So making sure that you are providing value is like number one. Because if you try to lock people in, and I think we can see it first with ChatGPT, and then everyone like grabbed their things and then just went to Claude. But now that ChatGPT is coming back into the mix with Codex and with the new models and like people are also like either going back or they have both, like they don't have to decide. So I think people now understanding how much they can use software, what they can do with software, and like I don't think there's like any real loyalty on like, oh, I need to use X or I need to use Cursor instead of like PowerShell or anti-gravity. Like there are so many different options that I just don't think it would not be I don't think it would be the smartest move to just completely transform it, transform it. And this is actually pretty crazy. Like 4 years in, and they are billionaires. Like that is insane. Like so fast. And startup lottery. I There's so many of these companies that are backed that you know that the software is not strong enough to make it out. I think VCs in general were hoping for to hit a home run. And I think a lot of people are gonna do it. And we have seen that with some of the software that is specific to a niche, to like law firms, or in this case, like Cursor, that is like such a huge deal, and they have really high ARRs on some of these softwares. But I don't I don't see software being Like it cannot just be it's not gonna be the only thing. Like there needs to be an advantage, there needs to be some friction, there needs to be an expertise that you have. And something that I have seen is that even on my workflow, I used to tolerate software issues a little bit more. I used to be like, oh, okay, like I'm not able to do this on this software, but I'm able to do like 80% of what I do or 90% of what I want to do. But since now you're able to create most of your software or you're able to create tools to build on top of uh, open source things, and it just becomes really hard if you're not like really specific on what you do and specific on that vertical. I know that there's this like posting API that is like $1 and it's called Cernia, I believe, or something like that. And I'm like, okay, like that's something that I am willing to pay because I'm not gonna go to the whole trouble just so that I can save $8. But like people that are using AI a bunch, like they don't even wanna use the pay for the markup. And for example, what is this? Uh, there's this there's one platform that you buy credits and then they just sell you different models from there, Open Router, and it is really good. But sometimes I'm like, I'll just get my API keys and I'm not gonna pay for the markup, even though it's gonna save me some time, like with how much I am using. And Higgsfield is seeing some of that, even though like yes, they're at $1 billion and they're amazing at what they do, and the UI is super intuitive. The way that they're doing the MCP is extremely good. But then there's other use cases that people are just going to use APIs. So I mentioned all of that because when we're talking about like software in general, like just trying to make a bet on software that you're going to win there without you having like any other advantage, I think it's extremely, extremely risky, to be honest. And this is actually like mentioning Oracle and the 21,000 cuts and blaming AI because of it. I I was thinking so much about this, and I think that is gonna be like my next YouTube video. That AI is just the scapegoat of what is happening. I think a lot of these companies were bloated in general, and instead of you having to have like an excuse on like, oh, I hired you and I don't really need you, or like, yes, AI is part of it, but there's so many people that I talk with and even on use cases that I have that they could still maximize the human if they were willing, like if they wanted to, I think they could keep them. I just think it's easier to not have to retrain people and go through all of that process. So I just see AI as a really good scapegoat for all of these companies because, and I also see it on myself. The skill of hiring is not a skill that I have yet, where it's like repeatable and I can get like amazing people in all the time without missing. Uh, like when it happens is by accident. I would say I might be getting better at pattern recognition, but in general, uh, is not uh, it's not the easiest, right? But um, I even forgot why I was telling you guys this. Um, yeah. So whenever I think of that process, uh, it's like, oh, okay, I don't need this person, or even because I don't have the resources to get the person that I want. Like I was even thinking of like a CFO or having like a fractional CFO. I'm like, look, I'm still gonna have to look at the numbers. Like, let's just automate this process, give it to an agent. I need to look at my P&L anyways. I need to look at the marketing expenses, at the ads, what we're spending. So I'm still gonna have to check it. And instead of using those resources on a person, like let's just use them like on an agent. And I'm gonna have to look at that anyways. So since my thought pro like when you don't have like insane resources, you have to be resourceful. So finding ways to be resourceful, AI helps you a lot with that. And I think companies are just like, I'm able to get rid of all of these people and I don't have to retrain them, or uh, I can just blame it on AI. Like they're doing that. But I do believe the AI is getting like way better into a place that it is actually true. I think for the past 2 years before, yeah, like before 2026, I would say that it was just an excuse. Is getting closer to being real because I am able to see it on like full roles, not just on specific tasks. And these companies have uh, amazing developers and amazing technology, so I don't doubt it. But like, it's also like a really easy way to just be like, oh, I'm sorry. Historic Greek orders to fast track AI data centers. I thought I had like gone into this, uh, but I don't know what this is talking about. Connect faster. It's a national priority. Huh, let's see what this says. I have no idea. Uh, this doesn't seem like the most reliable source. But plus, I don't really want to talk infrastructure. I don't know enough about the infrastructure to be honest. So we can just put that one in the market as covered and market as covered. And this one's a huge one. Uh, Using Fable 5 was horrible, and I used it to edit my videos, and they were so much better. It was so much faster. I was training agents. If you use AI continuously, you will see like that models, maybe not on the simple answers, but when they go and do work like with the agents, like it's pretty clear which model's better. And you're able to see like the quality of the results. And I am actually really happy because I was able to create like the templates for the video editor. But then after that, they took it away. And I was so upset. But that one and training agents in general and looking at the code, like it was extremely fast compared to Opus, and the quality was super high. So I was just like, I cannot believe that this model exists. So then taking Fable away, and it was also crazy because I went to church and then I came back and it was out. So it is also a huge issue because if I had models running on that, or if I had things running on it, like wouldn't have known. Like I didn't. That's on me for not putting a backup on it. But like just the fact that they can disconnect a model out of nowhere was horrible, and it made me think of the different things. One, that I needed a Codex subscription, like a ChatGPT subscription, so that I could have those credits. But also that how much input they have on the models and how much control they have on the models. There's a couple of times that I have run out of credits that I'm like, I rely so much on this AI, and the company relies so much on this AI. And I'm really happy that I get to push it to the limits because that also means that I get to see where it's going to break, and then I'm able to put things so that it doesn't happen again. But it's like they do have us hostage up to a certain point in frontier models, and I think and everyone is talking about it, but yeah, like having open models, maybe not for you to run all the time, but that if you do lose like that Fable 5, or you don't have access to Mythos that we have never had access to, or by any chance they also get rid of ChatGPT 5.5, like you still have a strong model to run your things. And I know that you can see the computers back there, but like also to run some of those locally and to run some stuff locally, so that even if they take like everything away, you're able to run it locally, or you have your BPS server, or you have something that you can truly utilize without depending on the AI companies. Obviously, for I love the models and I love the way that they perform, and they are way better than any open model. Like, let's be honest, like people say, like, oh, open models are okay. They are exactly, they're okay. Like when you are working with a frontier model like Fable 5 and you compare it to an open model on in general, like it's just like you are able to feel the difference. So, and that is huge. And but yeah, knowing that the government can switch it off anytime is it's horrible. And yeah, like local and open models, there will be a thing. I don't think I will be running them as uh, the main model. But if I get disconnected, if I lost Opus 4.8 and if I lost Chat GPT 5.5, then I would for sure run an open model. And the really good thing, and if you use AI properly, and if you have your agentic systems done properly, like you don't need that smart of models for your agents if you have crafted them correctly. So I tend to see it of like I go and I work on my agents with the frontier models. I make sure that they're performing good, even if it's like my OpenClaw or Hermes or just like agent orchestration in general. And from there, what I do is that they can execute if they needed to. I still leave a pretty high intelligence on them, but they could execute with not frontier models, and we would be okay because they have the specific path. Same with skills. If you have a skill, you'll see that you can send them with like Sonnet or HiQ or just like cheaper models, and they will perform just fine because they already know the road. They don't have to make it. So, uh, and zero jailbreaks, like I I just think it's revenge for what happened and for the way that Anthropic and Dario have been talking to the government, what happened on the Pentagon, what happened with autonomous weapons. Like, I don't think it's any secret that that you could see why that could be the issue on why they're on top of them all the time. It feels like they're on top of them all the time. So, um, and principal stand and strategic blunder by Anthropic. I like the fact something that is really cool is that Fable 5, most people can agree that is the best model that we have that the public has touched. And they have been able to develop that while having the same stance. Um, I've also seen that sometimes Cloud has been saying that it's like, oh, that they use fear as marketing. So I have no idea if that is true or if it is not. But it is the front facing part is really good and it's really important. Like you need to care about people, you need to care about what is happening. And if you don't care, obviously, like you are like we're using this technology to help and communication matters. So truth or not truth, I like the way that they communicate their stance. And Gemini 3.5, and it hasn't been shipped. And also, like I saw the I/O presentation, I love them. Well, I saw the summary of it. I always love how they present, how it looks. It's really, really nice. But I also try to get like Gemini Spark and look at Gemini Spark, and it's like, oh, only on the Ultra plan and stuff. And on Google, I don't have an Ultra plan, but I'm like, okay, that's cool. But now that I hear that also 3.5 has not been shipped, like, I think everyone tells us before what they're gonna do, and then we have to wait months to we get it. I know that Opus Clip used to do that, like did that, and we were like training the agent, and now the agent is good to go. But it seems like for everything that is coming out, you have like either a wait list or a countdown. Like nothing is like, okay, here it is. And I think it's just the times that we live in right now. But also it's the fact that they have to keep up with everything that is happening. So probably making the announcement made sense for for them. And w- I, because of agents, I use different models. But if I was just using it as a chatbot and on my day-to-day life, I think Gemini is one of the most powerful things because it's embedded to your whole ecosystem. It's super easy to access. And as a chatbot, I use Gemini. Like that is the one that I tend to use the most right now because I can be on Gmail or I'm just on Chrome or I have my computer, I have it on my phone, and it's extremely easy to use. So I really like it. In general, I don't put them against the other ones just because I'm able to run agents with the other models. But if it was just like quick conversations, revisions, information, like it is still pretty strong. And viral and spicy. Okay, I guess. Uh, Sanders, the public should own 50% of America's biggest AI companies. I've heard this so many times that the public should own 50% of America's biggest AI companies. And I don't know exactly how that is going to happen. A lot of people talk about UBI, and a lot of people think that I don't really know what's going to happen, but I do not see how that would happen. If someone told me like, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna split your money and we're gonna give it to all of these people," I don't know how I would feel. And the other thing is like 50%, like we're gonna give it as tax, and what's gonna happen to that money? How is that money gonna get distributed? Like, uh, I don't know. It's really crazy. And obviously, like Elon, I love Elon, and Almond is so smart. But thinking of UBI is just like I think thinking of this utopia right now with how much has changed and all of the roles that are going to AI and everything that is happening. Like right now, we have people that are billionaires, and Elon is a trillionaire. Like we don't see that flooding back into the economy. And why would he give 50% of XAI? Or why would OpenAI give 50% of them? Like it sounds like I just don't see how that could happen in general. Like I really do not see how that could happen. But yeah, I like it's like the job displacement and people not having a clear path. And we're gonna have to train people so that they can like truly reskill people so that they can go back into the workforce. But something that I continue to see and that keeps me like extremely hopeful is that people that know AI or just like AI in general today, I'm not talking about 3 years from now, I'm talking about today. And that is why I have such a passion for people to start learning about it, is that I talk with a bunch of people that are way smarter than me that they don't know about AI. And I tend to see that as their biggest advantage that they don't know about AI. And the reason I say this is that they know so many other things. Like they're amazing at business, or they're amazing at communication, or they're amazing leaders, or they're amazing artists. And what I would love for them to do is for them to see like this technology can help you. You can still be an amazing artist. We're still like we still go to the Louvre to look at the Mona Lisa. Like that's still a thing, right? But what if you could ship more pictures, or what if you could do things different or sketches and like the work that you do and you being unique will continue to be your greatest gift. And in business, I just see it because it's like, where they tell me like, oh no, this world of business is built for people like you. And I'm like, I wish I had your knowledge, your 20 years of knowledge, your 30 years of knowledge, And this is just another tool on uh, the toolbox, right? And putting the technology on top of fundamentals, I believe, is one of the biggest things that we need to start doing. And if you're an amazing marketer, like using it on that. If you're amazing at media buying, being able to use it on that. If you're an amazing creator, being able to use it on that. And instead of being something that you feel is gonna consume you, like using it as a tool so that you can maximize your efforts and the things that you do while still being you. Like the reason I believe life is going to be such a huge thing and everyone is moving into these real, raw conversations is because that's what we need. And working on the real world, understanding people, how the technology applies to them, and what problems do they have, like that's something that an AI engineer might not understand. That is something that a developer might not understand because they're not talking to the customer, they're not talking to the client. Like, yes, obviously the technology continues to move super, super fast, but the truth is that uh, your expertise are still your biggest advantage. And I would not expect for them to just be giving money away. And so I would not even prepare for that scenario. I would be like, what can I do? How can I reskill myself? How can I use this technology as an advantage? Is if that is gonna happen, is there a way that I can put more money into my retirement fund? Is there a way that I can start saving money? Like looking at different alternatives, because if we're gonna think and wait that they're gonna give us 50% of their companies, I think is absurd and insane, and I would not count on that. So that is what that is what I that is what I believe. And without getting a lot into war, I think there's continued to be this big idea of not just using AI for war, but making sure that people know that you can use AI for war. And that is just I don't know enough about the war, and uh, so let's just keep that one. Uh, they're making me come back to local models, and but yes, it is important, and it's just really hard sometimes. Like you do need like really fast computers to run local models. So for a lot of people, it just doesn't really make sense to have their own dedicated computer to run a local model. Someone that does a really good job at that would be like Open Router, and then instead of you paying like a premium on all of these subscriptions, like you can run some of these models that are super, super cheap, and you can even run models that are not from the US. So like you could also go that route, but been thinking that you're just gonna be running local models, I don't think most people are gonna do that. I don't even think most companies are gonna do that. Um, so it is it is cool to have the ability to do it, but I don't think that's gonna be like the number one thing that you do. And Claude has just like it has surprised me. I'm just really upset that they took away Fable 5. But yeah, like it continues to surprise me. And people continue talking about like AI loops or things that have to do with AI in general, and how you're supposed to like loop your agents and stuff. Uh, in my agents, I call it can you be autonomous? But it's not really. Uh, I still personally like to do the critical thinking and tell them what I want and what a good result looks like. Because something that I didn't notice at the beginning with AI, and there's a bunch of videos that I put out that they're just like AI slop that I am just copying and pasting information and then like repeating it to the camera. Probably why they're so bad. But it is like a really big issue to just have it on a loop with you. really interfering because the way that we process things and the way that we think about things, at least until today, like you will still like your views change, the way that you would say it changes. And I think you can give the agent enough guidelines, and then yes, you can send it like, for example, uh this presentation so that I can go on the live and I can just talk about this was created by AI, right? But and it knows that it has to go look for the newest things for the past 7 days that would be interesting and that I would like to talk about. But then it's gonna mess up once or twice. But like you put it as a routine, but you don't want for this to be like the thing that just goes out every time. I even see it on carousels. Like on most times you're able to see like even if a carousel on Instagram was created by a person using uh, with the help of AI or if it's just like AI. And I'm like, we're trying to automate what and people have gotten really, really good at detecting what's AI and what's not. So let's try to uh, I don't believe it's there yet, but um, like there's specific processes. I think right here saying like 80% of the code merge into its own system. Yes, like for example, I do have like a self-healing loop, or I am able to see if something broke on the system. And I even call it the doctor. The doctor is my agent, and it goes check. And it goes and checks on each one of the agents that they are connected and that they're connected to the gateway. But I just don't have them doing things over and over again. And I don't believe that there needs to be a pause button. Like I think people are really good at it. Like if it's good quality, like you can put it out. If not, you are able to see that the market will clearly tell you like this is not good quality. Go back into the lab. So if we like it and if it's good and if it's coming out, I'm just talking like about, for example, like the marketing or people writing, uh, or in general, or a presentation, or like all of these things that you believe that can be repeated, but like the market and people and your delivery and your boss or whoever you're submitting the thing to uh, will tell you if it's good quality, if it's bad quality, if you can continue doing it or not. So I don't think we need a pause button. I believe we will be judged based on the quality of it. Microsoft AI Chief gives it 18 months for all white collar work. It's it's moving fast. It's not moving that fast. There's a company that I work with, and they have amazing people, and they work fast compared to many other companies for their size. And there is no shot that AI adoption is gonna be like just completely decimate white collar jobs that way. Yes, we're trying to integrate it, and yes, there's things that are getting used there, but there is so much that. And in my last video, I was talking about like breaking down a process and understanding like what makes a good marketing funnel, for example. Who decides if it's like all of the effort and all of the information that you have to put to actually create something that it's worth just sending traffic to. Uh, yes, you can make the AI do the landing page. Yes, you can make the AI create some of the like some of the creative, some of the ads, the automation on the back end. But you still have to, up to today, you still have to guide it and understand how the funnel works. So if you just think that randomly you're like, give me a good funnel, like some people, like the other day I was working, I was talking with my dad. We were creating his agent. I'm like, just tell him like, so we create the presentations, like what are gonna be the brand guidelines for your agent, right? And my dad didn't understand what the brand guidelines were. And for some people it's obvious, for some people it's not. If he talks to me about the Bible and if he talks to me about how to be a good parent or how to teach, like I would have a really hard time understanding the things that he's telling me. So we still have to guide it and we just use the technology as an advantage to deliver a better result. So uh, everyone continues to say like how fast AI is going to move, and yes, it's moving incredibly fast. And maybe I don't see it because I'm using it every day. So it's like even if it's growing like kids that you're like since you see the kid every day, it doesn't feel like it's growing as fast. But I disagree mainly because also a lot of people have like the adoption, even though it's relatively fast, most people are still on the chatbot phase and now transferring into like code work and actually automating work. Like most of the population and of the people that I talk to, even though they understand AI and they understand that AI can help them, most of them like they don't have like their custom agent that was created for as their personal assistant that they can delegate work to. They don't have all of those things that this assumes they're gonna have. So plus just the hesitation on in general. Uh, so I am sure that the job loss is gonna be extreme, yet I do not see adoption being as fast as I would expect. That would be my only pushback. My only pushback on that. And everyone is panicking about Cursor. Uh, in general. And something like when the IPO, I was like, huh, it's probably a good time to buy like Tesla stock because everyone is paying attention to this. And actually, Tesla stock, I saw that it took like a little hit when he went public uh, on SpaceX because I know that Tesla is gonna have the robots. But also something that I'm like, which company is he gonna put most of the value under, right? Like XAI is gonna be under SpaceX, and now Cursor is there. So he's an amazing entrepreneur, but since everyone know, like the market has already dictated that he's an amazing entrepreneur. So I don't know if I'm no forecast or no financial advice, and I know that I will be wrong on the positive or on the negative, but I'm just like it is a gamble, uh, just because how successful he has been in the past. That most people assume that he's gonna be successful on this one, so they make the bet knowing that he's gonna be successful. Just like on the Ilya Topuria fight and Justin Gaethje, like you bet assuming that he's going to win. So that's why the odds are so one-sided. And this is the video that is gonna be coming out, and I'm happy that that I'm gonna be able to expand on this. But yeah, the real casualty is the entry door, not the mid-career. Like entry level positions are in real trouble because in the middle, you're able to use the technology to make it better. But at the beginning of your career, you know nothing. Like you truly know nothing. Like on your first job, you have to get understanding not just of what you learned in school and how that applies in the real world, but you also need the experience of the business and the background. And if it's a law firm, if you're working with a dentist, like you also need to understand that aspect. And with AI, it's just really hard for people to just hire entry level because there's so much training involved and so much effort that you have to put into one person that you don't even know if it's gonna be with you in the next 2, 3, 5 years. So that for me has been one of the biggest issues because I'm like, okay, uh, I start looking at is entry level people something that we're gonna hire and that we're gonna continue hiring, or can I just pay a premium for amazing talent and then just give that amazing talent agent? So that is what I where I am gonna end. I'm really happy that I got to go live because I didn't know if I was gonna get to. I was having so many issues with it, but Tuesdays I'll hang out in here. I'll get to talk about the things that are on my mind with the news. They also give me keep me in touch with the news of what is happening. And it's way more intentional than just looking at AI news all day and then not doing anything. I think that is one of the worst things that you can do. One of the worst things that you can do is just look at AI news all day and see a million different tools, but the best tool is the one that you are using. So, and if there is a tool that is like truly, truly groundbreaking, like it will find you the same way that OpenClaw found you, Cloud Code found you, like all of those things, like it will find you if a tool is that groundbreaking. But just looking at AI news all day, it's one of the worst wastes of time that you can do. And if you see this live, and if you're like, okay, what are you building, or other than us going on a news rundown or talking about just AI subjects, like I am happy to solve problems in regards to like what business owners are struggling with right now, as well as building some of these tools that we can just start using. So thank you so much for joining today. It was the first one. I enjoyed it a lot, and this thing didn't really have a clock, so I have no idea what time is it. But thank you so much for joining. Go and take the world by storm.